night, he gets an 8-round fight, and he admitted, hey, that really affected me. Teddy, completely different pacing when you fight the shorter distance. Of course, Manfredo got conditioned and was comfortable at the longer distance, but there's no time to waste, especially against the guy who has the output of Sergio Mora.
Well, since you're bringing up that subject, let's go to a number that may mean a lot. And the first time they fought, Manfredo weighed 159. Tonight, he's 3 pounds heavier at 162. Mora, he's the same weight as he was the last time they were in the ring. And the last time he got his hand raised in victory.
You heard in the introductions that Peter Manfredo has his father and Freddie Roach in his corner. Of course, he grew up in the gym in Providence. His father taught him everything. Freddie Roach, a world-class trainer who handles many of the best world champions out there, including Manny Pacquiao, James Lights Out Tony. I think that's a big difference, and Peter has extreme confidence in Freddie Roach. He says Freddie has a calmness that my father just doesn't have.
Well, the most important thing is there has to be a strategy change. Manfredo lost the fight on the inside the last time. He needs to fight on the outside, which early on he's doing a little bit more, and quite honestly, he's been allowed to do a little bit more of by Mora. But to get that strategy change, he needs a guy to implement it in the corner, and you just touched on it. No better guy than Freddie Roach, a good teacher, a former fighter, and a guy who will think with his brain, where a father will think sometimes too much with his heart.
Indeed, we've seen that many times in the fight game. Most recently, you talk about changing styles and adapting. Felix Trinidad's father not able to adapt against Winky Wright, getting blown out. Clean shutout loss in that championship fight. Of course, strategy changes, some of the things that Manfredo's been working on. He says, I'm going to be on my toes more. I'm going to give angles. I'm going to cut forward.
A lot of grabbing last time on the inside. And you see a lot of that again.
There's blood already, Teddy, in the same exact spot. It happened in the first round last time out. It has happened again. Mora is cut above that left eye.
And that might make Mora, that might take something away from Mora in the form, not only not to be as patient, as you can see now he starts to press the action a little bit, but he was switching a lot from righty to lefty early on. That's his way, that's his style. Likes to confuse the opponent. Look for him to stay one way, the orthodox way, now that he's cut.
Now they're picking up the pace on the inside.
He might feel an urgency, Joe, where he thinks, I better not waste time switching back and forth now that I'm cut. And he switches right there to the southpaw stance.
You can see that that gash has just reopened and it's bleeding badly. Coming to the end of round number 1, Mora cut.
When you hit the bell, you stop. Don't play games. Don't play games. Jabbing right now.
That is the damaged left eye of Sergio Mora. He was cut in the first round, and you can see Carlos Vargas, his fine cut man, is trying to tend to it. Oh, it's a bad gash. He's got 7 more rounds to go. In Teddy, Raul Caiz Sr., the referee, came over. I asked him. He said, Joe, that was caused by a punch from Peter Manfredo, not a clash of heads.
So if this fight gets stopped,
it's a stoppage.
Mora would lose.
So Peter Manfredo has a real opportunity in the form of that cut over the left eye of Sergio Mora. Manfredo had a 15-8 connect advantage in that first round, round number 2.
You know, you look at Mora, and he won the last fight on the inside, but you look at Mora and you look at that sleek, thin build, good reach, good height, little advantage for him over Manfredo. You think he's going to do more of that. Fight on the outside.
Break. Nice and relaxed. Watch that head. Watch
sometimes that fighting spirit gets the better of him. He goes inside. Now, it worked from the last time, but you still think, looking at Mora, that he should be doing more outside, using that jab, using that reach, using that height.
Saw the total punches there. Manfredo was 19 out of 63. 15 of those were power connects. He had a 15-8 advantage, and now lunging in. Let's bring in Tommy Gallagher. You were the trainer and advisor for these guys during the contender. What do you see early on, Tommy?
Just what we saw from the beginning. They're fighting. Manfredo got hit with a monstrous left hook. Got a left hook. His eyes rolled back in his head. Sergio's cut. He's bleeding all over him.
Go, punch.
It inspired him the first go-round when he had to deal with the cut over the left eye.
That's what this is about, Joe. This is about a war right here. They're fighting.
Head-to-head, chest-to-chest on the inside, trading left hands.
I tell you what it's about. It's about who's more consistent right now inside. Who does less holding. That's what you got to watch for right now. Who clutches, who grabs just a little less. That's going to be the person, if this fight continues in the quarters, that is inside. That's going to be the guy who's going to grab this fight.
No question about that.
Who's willing to extend themselves and make the choices you have to make?
The choices, Joe, that's the word.
Look at that blood streaming down. This is not a good sign for Sergio Mora. Once again, that was caused by a punch. So if this fight is stopped, Manfredo wins.
All right. Time.
They're going to let it continue.
Absolutely.
Don't be surprised if Mora really turns it on, though, now that he's visited the corner once with the doctor.
Now let's say that it's even on the inside. Whoever does a little less of that,
Win.
a little grabbing, a little less grabbing, just as Tommy said, they're going to win that fight. But somebody could do just a little outside fight.
He's hurt.
A little fighting on the outside. That somebody can separate themselves in this fight, especially as we get past the early rounds and things start to settle down a little bit.
Manfredo now trying to work out and not smother himself, something he's been working on with Freddie Roach.
You know what he did there? He used the rope as a friend. He smothered Mora inside and then gave himself a little room, and when he was ready to punch, he was able to score.
Sergio Mora had excellent preparation for this bout. He was up against world champion Antonio Margarito. Now it's time to draw upon all that experience. Good action. We come to the end of round number 2 here at the Staples Center. Mora Manfredo.